Hello. That's a British accent. Doesn't even work. Hey, Wrestling with Rosenberg continues on Wrestlemania weekend. We have the lovely, very talented, and she's getting over it. People loving this lady. Emma is here. How are you, Emma?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Good.
I gotta be honest. I totally forgot that you're Australian.
How could you forget that?
I don't know, because you just doing this isn't necessarily the international sign for Australian.
No, or maybe it will be one day, though.
Maybe it
That's
will
a nice
be.
thought.
But this reminds me of last week. Do you watch Walking Dead?
No, I haven't watched it.
God.
I know, I'm bad. I haven't. You know what? We're really busy with the
wrestling,
and
I guess.
And then when I get home, it's kind of thinking about writing different ideas down, and I'm just so excited by it all. It's always wrestling.
That makes sense. But a couple weeks ago, they had the guy who plays the lead on Walking Dead.
Right.
And as he's getting on the show, what's his name? Something Lincoln? I forget his name. Mary Todd Lincoln? I don't remember. Anyways, as he's going on the show, my wife and I are like, I'm like,
is that Ben Escrow or whatever? Is that what you're talking about?
No. I'm like an idiot. I'm going to look this up right now. So as he's going on the show, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this guy's British. And then he comes out and starts talking, and it's one of those weird moments when you're like, oh, yeah, this guy who I watch as an American all the time is not that. Now, that said, it's not like you play an American.
No.
I just haven't really heard you talk.
Oh,
because
right.
I haven't, pre-network, I was kind of not in NXT land for a while.
Okay.
Which I know is sad, but people don't believe this who watch my interviews. I have some semblance of a life and my own radio show I have to do.
No,
I know. No, it is weird. No, I'm not. No, you're right. So then I haven't seen you talk that much, so I forget that you start talking and you have this lovely Australian accent.
Yeah, thanks.
When did you come here?
I came to
Andrew Lincoln, by the way.
the
Andrew
States?
Lincoln. Yes.
Well, I started with NXT just over a year and a half ago, and I was kind of like traveling and living everywhere before that. Anyway, I lived in Canada for a while. I wrestled around there in the States and Australia.
Where in Canada were you wrestling?
I wrestled with Lance Storm, SWA.
There you go.
In Calgary, and that's when I was like 19. And then I basically spent the next 4 or 5 years traveling around. I lived in Vancouver for a while.
What was your wrestling name on the indie circuit?
Tennille Taylor.
Tennille Taylor.
Right.
Did you ever do any East Coast work?
You
do any New Jersey or New York or anything like that, or no?
No.
You were
Nothing.
mostly Canada and
around
Midwest?
Canada for ECCW and yeah.
So were you just a wrestling geek in Australia who was
Yes.
desperate to do this?
Yeah, it's always been my dream since I was a little girl. This is all I ever wanted to do, and so I kind of just set out to do it, and there was never any other option in my mind.
I know what you mean. Believe me, I set out my plans to do radio and television, and people are like, well, what would be your backup? I'm like, I don't have a backup.
Yeah, that's right. They always said you need a backup. I was like, why?
I know. Well, you know what?
I'm just gonna do it.
Well, but it's funny because if someone else was to advise you,
right.
I'm sure you'd be like,
If
get
I
a
was
backup.
to give advice, yeah, I'd say go
because
to
now
school, get
you've
a
seen
backup.
how hard it is. You're like,
Yeah.
and people will be like, how'd you get there? And you're like, I don't even know.
How'd I get here? Or do you want the short story or the long?
Yeah, like, what exactly?
If you have, however long, write a novel. Like.
But like how it must even feel like, I won't make you go over all the details, but it's a mix of course hard work, amazing luck, and when you look around, and if another girl was to be like, hey, I want to move from Australia and I want to become a WWE diva, you're like, well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's got to be pretty hard.
It's extremely hard. It's a lot of sacrifices. It's time away from family and from friends. It's I had to spend a lot of money and travel and network and meet people. Go through injuries. I had to have surgery on my shoulder, all kinds of different things before I got here. So, but that's all part of the journey. And for me, that's like the most rewarding part now is getting to here. It's the pinnacle, So that makes it all worthwhile.
It's fair. I have to say, I'm pretty used to people. I've interviewed over the last 7 years, I don't know, such a countless amount of WWE superstars and wrestlers around the world. But you have one of the most striking differences, in my opinion, from your talking personality to what is currently on television. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know, because like actually, I think my character on TV is just an extension of who I am.
Well, it's early in the day,
Well, I'm
too.
kind of like very down to earth, whatever. But I just like to have fun and have a laugh and make people laugh. And
Are you such a goofball though? Like the visceral reaction I get when I see you come on camera is one of happy and laughing and like your weird movements.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of, and then but that's what I'm saying. It's a funny relationship between that and how you sound, and right now how you're presenting yourself. How often do you go into like that part of you?
Yeah.
Is that a part of you that is there all the time?
Yeah,
Is that the
it's
part?
always there.
It's always there.
It's always there.
Does it come out more often though? Maybe late at night on a weekend with your girls hanging out, or is it there all the
I
time?
think it depends who I'm around, if kind of play off them or have a little fun. But it's just an extension of who I am, and it's always there. Yeah, it's just maybe a little more reserved sometimes.
Who is your favorite WWE superstars coming up?
Stone Cold.
Stone
My
Cold.
favorite, yeah.
Number one?
Yeah. And then of course The Rock. For the divas was Trish and Lita. I remember I used to sit like inches from my TV with Stone Cold, and when the glass would shatter, I'd go crazy. My big brother Jake and I watched it for years. So.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
So in the Stone Cold era, you were a little kid.
Yeah, Attitude Era.
In the Attitude Era, you were like 9, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gotten to have conversations yet with Trish and Lita?
No.
Really?
No. I actually met Trish at the airport when I was like 13. I have a picture they put up on Twitter a while ago. And I'd love to get a picture with her this year maybe, and it'd be cool to kind of have the two.
You're going to get that pic. Oh, let me help you out. You're going to get that picture.
All right.
I think they're going to know who you are. That's what I think the amazing part is about your profession, and I've watched this happen with a lot of up-and-coming people. It's that you're like, oh my God, I'm here. But the thing is, because wrestlers are fans of wrestling, they go home and watch the product as well and know it pretty well.
Yep.
So like, obviously, I'm sure that when you see Lita and Trish this weekend, if you want to ask them thoughts, they're going to already have input from watching you.
It's crazy. It's really surreal to think of it that way, because I was, grew up as a fan in this business, and they paved the way for me, and now like to kind of be a part of the business with them is kind of crazy.
Do you foresee your character always being sort of wacky and offbeat, or at some point could you see yourself being a little bit more serious? Are there many sides to what you like to do?
Yeah, well, I think you'll start to see.
There you go, like that.
You'll start to see more sides to Emma, I think, as we go, because it's only been a couple of months so far. So, sure, I like to have fun and like mess around a little bit outside the ring. But you'll see when I get in there, I can still go.
Absolutely.
I'm a very physical wrestler, and I trained for years before I got here. So I think it's just a matter of time before everyone sees that side of me as well.
Yeah, but because right now, they have you in a position where, which don't get me wrong, is a great position. This is not something I'm downplaying at all. You and Santino is a very fun, awesome part of the show. But obviously, I'm sure you also have different aspirations that you're like, oh, well, this part's fun. But seeing as you grew up on Stone Cold, there's also a badass part of you that wants to kick people's asses and be taken seriously. Maybe they bring in some chick from New Zealand and you guys try to kill each other. Who's your dream feud right now? Of who's around? You want this one? You want to get your hands on this one day?
Natalia?
Yeah.
We've actually been teaming together a little bit. But you know what? She's easily the most challenging competitor up there. So any match I could have with Natalia would be amazing. But you know what? If there was any feud, I would love for the feud I had with Paige and NXT to be possible up here with WWE.
You want to get to do that one more time?
Yeah.
What, you feel like there's more to do?
Oh, yeah. Paige and I have very similar backgrounds, and we come from have a passion for the wrestling, and just like Natalia, and just to be able to share that and to kind of go at it on the WWE stage would be crazy.
What's the weirdest part for you, being a kid who dreamed of this? You know what? I think one of my favorite things about getting to interview people in general is you're getting to talk to people who are living a dream.
Yeah.
And so of all weekends, were you even around last year?
I was at part of Access last year.
Okay.
So it's a very different experience.
But let's be honest, no one gave a good damn about you last year, did they? Did people care?
No, they don't know me as much now.
Right? Had you barely been on TV?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the network wasn't around then.
Yeah.
It was on Hulu. Yeah, it was it's a different scale right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
you've been on Raw for what, 4 months?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, not long.
So what does it feel like? What's the It's WrestleMania weekend.
I know, it's
What
ridiculous.
does 10-year-old Emma in Australia have to? Wait, what's your real name?
Tennille.
What does 10-year-old Tennille have to say about this moment?
10-year-old Tennille is pinching me myself right now. It's been a dream since I can remember, and I really just have to kind of take a step back and take it all in and make sure I give myself that chance on Sunday for WrestleMania. I can't wait to come out of that stage in front of all those fans. It's going to be surreal.
How do you think they're going to do it? I mean, by the time everyone sees this, maybe we already know. But I wonder if you guys will all each get your moment. There's a lot of people in this match. So
Yeah.
you all get your music to hit, you think? I hope you get your...
I'd like to think so.
I'd like to think so, too.
I think if anyone has the music, it should be mine.
Let's be honest. You gotta get your gimmick over.
I need to get out and dance, and everyone needs to hear the music so it can be in their heads all night.
How far away are you from getting sick of doing your dance?
Never.
You're good on it. You're
I
not...
can do that all day.
So if you're out and partying and someone sees you and people are like, oh shit, there's her, and start doing it, you're not getting annoyed. You love it.
No, I can pretty much. I amuse myself doing that. That's why I kind of mix it up sometimes.
Well, you could. And now hold on. Did they start getting their hands in on it and being like, oh, well, you got to keep always doing this, or are you like, no, sometimes I do this?
No, I just do what I want. Yeah, I feel it out, and then sometimes I see fans doing like funny versions of it, and then I do it like them. Yeah, it's just fun. I just do what I feel out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Emma, she's someone to watch in 2014. Enjoy this weekend.
Thank
10-year-old
you.
Tennille, 25-year-old Emma.
Yeah.
All of you enjoy it.
Thank you so much. I
Appreciate
appreciate it.
Yep.